Layoffs, Halo, what is going on Microsoft? Let's talk about it. So I made a video earlier the other day and we were talking about the Microsoft layoffs, the 10,000 employees that Microsoft laid off last week. And there was employees from Xbox Game Studios, from Bethesda, from 343, and from the Coalition. And there was concern out there that this was going to have a major effect on the development of games. Now, we don't know what effect this is going to have on the majority of them. We're kind of seeing stuff come out about 343 and Halo Infinite and how this may have an effect on it, especially with things like single player campaign. But the 10,000 employee layoff specifically from Microsoft and from Xbox, when I was talking about it, I was reporting 10,000 employees, and then you continue to look and you see what happens out throughout the week as well. And this is just a thing happening within the tech industry. And the 10,000 employees from Microsoft and for Xbox actually isn't that big of an alarming thing to look at. I mean, it's sad for the employees that lost their jobs, but overall, it's just what's happening right now across the entire tech industry, across the economy, just because of what is going on with the economy, with potentially going into a recession, all of that type of stuff happening. And these layoffs are going to continue across multiple companies. We have some more information here, and it has to do with it's not only Microsoft laying off employees, we're also seeing that even Google just laid off 12,000 employees. Now, first of all, like I said, the tech industry is going through a major layoffs period right now where all these companies that hired a ton of people throughout the pandemic, because there's a lot of things going on, like people working at home, tech was booming, people were utilizing a lot more services within tech, and they just needed more employees. So everybody was getting hired, and now those cutbacks are happening as the world is getting back to normal. People are going into the office, and tech is slowing down. You even take a look at just things like the stock market and the decrease in some of these big tech stocks over the last year or so. You take a look at here in the layoffs. There's been tons of layoffs. Microsoft right now is a very notable one with the 10,000. Then you have Alphabet here, which is Google, with 12,000. So these major companies are going to continue to have these huge cuts. Google to cut 12,000 jobs, and it's its largest layoff ever. So this is just a trend right now happening within the tech industry. It's happening within the economy. It's happening within the markets right now. It's going to be a very interesting year to see how everything works out, to see if we really get into a deep recession and how inflation is going to hit everybody. I mean, you just go to the grocery store, try to buy some eggs, try to buy some milk, try to buy some bread, try to buy just anything that was far cheaper a couple of years ago. It's just increased by a couple of dollars, and it really hits you hard once you see what is really going on. And I think this is a big part of it with tech, like I said, booming over the pandemic, and then now things are slowing down a bit. And just for context, when it comes to the actual layoffs, you take a look at Microsoft and you take a look at how much they've grown. I mean, 2022, they hired 40,000 employees, and now they've laid off 10,000 employees. So from 2022 to now, there's still a surplus of 30,000 employees. I mean, it's not like this is like the end of the world. This is why I think, yeah, there's going to be a lot of overblown outrage and stuff like that. But it's unfortunate for people that lost their job, but in reality it isn't that big of a deal. When it comes to gaming specifically, when it comes to Xbox Game Studios, Phil Spencer actually responded to the layoffs. He called it a difficult moment in time for Microsoft. Now, this is an email that Phil Spencer acknowledged that it's been a difficult week for Microsoft with all of the stuff with the layoffs. He says here, "This is a challenging moment in our business, and this week's actions were painful choices. The gaming leadership team had to make decisions that we felt set us up for the long-term success of our products and business, but the individual results of those decisions are real. I know that hurts. Moving forward with ambiguity is challenging, but I am confident that together we will get through this difficult moment in time. I'm confident in our future and proud to be part of this team, but also conscious that this is a challenging time. I want to thank you for everything that you do here." So, I mean, there's not really much there. It's a big CEO sending out an email to his employees. I mean, what else are they going to say? They're not going to say, hey, we had to fire all these people because of this, that, and the other thing. They're just acknowledging that it was a hard time. They have to move forward, and that they are making these decisions for the betterment of the business. So we'll see what happens in terms of Xbox Game Studios. I honestly think there's going to be a lot of outrage videos. There's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Like, I even made a video talking about this, but I was just kind of reporting the news of the 10,000 employee layoff. But overall, I don't think this is going to have a major effect on some of these games being in development and some of these games coming out. However, we do know that Halo and Halo Infinite has been, I would say, in trouble since its launch, essentially after not being able to get out enough content for people to feel satisfied and want to continue playing the game, that people were falling off the game. And now with Joseph Staten leaving and other people getting laid off from 343, we are seeing some more news that, yeah, it looks like there are going to be some disappointment news right now when it comes to Halo Infinite, specifically thinking about and looking at campaign DLC. First of all, we have this tweet here from Neil Harrison, who was a director of art management at 343. He says, "Today was a really tough one. Layoffs hit 343 Industries hard with positions impacted across all disciplines. The art team, which I've spent over a decade building and leading, lost around 30 people alone, myself included. People are what always made 343 special, and the folks affected today are not only some of the best game developers out there, but some of the very best humans I've ever had the pleasure to work with. If you're a hiring manager or recruiter, you have a great opportunity to talk to some incredibly talented and experienced folks. When things get tough on your project, these are the people you want by your side. They've been through it all, and their drive, resilience, and loyalty is unmatched. If I can help connect you to those impacted, please let me know. Thank you for the support and love from those who've already reached out to us. It's deeply appreciated and always inspiring to see games industry rally around those in need." And you have Forge Lord here, Michael Shore, who says, "Thanks to everyone for reaching out and expressing their concern and sympathy for the layoffs at 343 and elsewhere. I appreciate it. I'm still at 343. If you would like to connect with folks to help them find roles, I'm here for that and happy to be catalyst in that regard." Now, Forge Lord is the Forge lead designer at 343 Industries, and you could argue that the best thing to come out of Halo Infinite multiplayer since its launch has been Forge, just with how robust that mode is and just the insane things people are able to create, and how that, I think, is going to create longevity with Halo Infinite, even without content coming out in a timely fashion that is from 343 themselves. So Forge Lord, I mean, it did a great job, still is there, didn't get laid off. I think they would have been crazy to lay off the lead designer for Forge. And then we finally have Joseph Staten, who made a statement saying, "Hey folks, right now I'm 100% focused on helping people who lost their job find great new ones. The outpouring of support from other studios has been amazing. Please keep it coming. If you'd like a reference for someone you're considering, my DMs are open." So nothing really, no updates via Halo, obviously, but just updates via 343 and what is going on. Concerning thing that I saw that was on Twitter today from Jez Corden had to do with actually the campaign DLC. Now, this is something that I've talked about on my channel numerous times, that I want campaign DLC. I've been waiting for campaign DLC, and it looks like it may not be coming. Now, it all started with this going around on Twitter, and it was NESBot taking a Reset Era post saying, "343 is now stopping active development and become franchise coordinator of Halo. Halo Infinite campaign DLC scrapped, and they're focusing on multiplayer support." Then you had Jez replying to MVG, who says, "This sounds like bullshit." Jez saying, "It's because it is. There was never any campaign DLC in active development. I don't know how you scrap something that didn't exist." And then he replies here and says, "Regarding Halo Infinite, just boosting this for visibility from a little while ago. From what I've heard via multiple sources, Halo Infinite's campaign DLC never existed beyond conversations. Focus has been entirely on live service." So take that for what you will from Jez, whether you believe it or whether you don't believe it. At the end of the day, to me, I don't work in game development. I don't know how these things go, but this seems just ridiculous that 343 had never started campaign DLC development. It to me is just mind blown reading that, because if you played through the campaign, it was a good campaign. It was fun, great story elements, great gameplay, but there was still a lot of stuff to be wanted from that campaign, like different biomes, more story to be added in, definitely get some more DLC for some more enemies, and just so many things that could be done in an open world Halo that they had built. That was an incredible foundation that you would have expected that a year out after the game was released, a bit more than a year now, some sort of single player DLC would be put out. Now, this to me that they haven't even started, again, very concerning. And what it tells me is that I think that honestly, at this point, the only conclusion you can come to is that 343 just terrible management. They had terrible management from the beginning of this game. from the delay to the release to the online stuff that apparently they were working on and took forever to get out, and then had no even beginning for the campaign stuff, means that they just lost their focus. They lost their way, and they got held up on so many things that being this far behind on content that people are waiting for, to me, it's really unacceptable for a developer that is a part of a $1 trillion company that has all of the resources in the world. It just screams lack of good management. But that's it for me. That's my take on this stuff. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm right? Are you worried about Halo? Do you think we'll ever get campaign DLC? And what do you think about the overall layoffs at Microsoft? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for support. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss any of the videos upcoming, and I'll catch you in the next video.